glad to have all of these guys to coming away from here in downtown Charleston. Pacific, 468 King Street, downtown Charleston. We haven't gotten to this until now, but here we are, right in the middle of the season, the peak of the season. I mean, it's great to be here tonight. Obviously, you've got a lot of fun. Go ahead, As it is, this makes so much fun. We've had the opportunity to take a look back first at how the season to this point has gone. It got through the non-conference portion of the schedule this year. We had some really good moments during that. Touch on some of those. From the vernacular of ups, downs, and otherwise things that happened, man. Let's talk a little bit about the first 13 games of the season because of the non-conference portion.
The older guys on our team were able to play that type of basketball, and we were working toward that kind of an unusual way of playing, more the older school style of play, where we have kind of two guys that can really score a low post and Winston Hill and putting them all around, and then some guards that can post up. So kids don't grow up playing that way. They grow up running to the three-point line and spreading out 5 guys on the perimeter. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, but I thought we were really peaking. We had some great moments early on. We were able to compete really well against any Power 5 team because of our size. We don't normally have. We out-rebound our first 10 opponents. We went to NC State, we had a chance to win that. Being that one late, we pulled away and won by 11. But it was a very competitive game. We lost to Boston College and won by 4. And then we beat Notre Dame by 20. We were really kind of built to play against those teams a little bigger while we evolved with our younger freshmen, maybe to get some more versatility around it. And then unfortunately we had some injuries. Christian Moore and Winston Hill, both with season-ending injuries, and other guys, it seemed like they hit it all at the same time with other injuries they fought through, whether it was concussions or sickness or shoulders or ankles. And so we didn't reinvent ourselves a little bit. I feel we had a great day of practice today. I feel really good about where we're at. I hate that we dropped a couple home games in the conference. As far as the program, I'm thrilled with where we've been able to get to this first year and a half. We've reestablished our camps. We've reestablished the rivalries with the local teams like College Charleston, Southern. We've gone out there and played some high-profile games. Our fan base is really starting to come back. Our crowd really, I thought, was exceptional. Once you add the court the vets to that, I think we're going to have some great home crowds for these remaining 5 home league games. I just love the support we've received and where we're headed. I love our young roster. We just have to keep on building.
The Ed Conroy Show is presented by Cutwater Spirits, and of course, we're thrilled to be here at El Jefe. By the way, the food is fantastic here. It's the first time I've tried it. I didn't nap. But all of that said, it's interesting what a big deal confidence is, and of course, and sports in general, anyway, especially these seasons are kind of a season of ebbs and flows and ups and downs. A couple things that stand out for me when you go back to when we were at Campbell, the Idaho State game. What a lift it is to kind of snatch that game in the end when Isaiah hits Elijah hits that 3 with whatever it was, half a second to go. Then you have the exchange of fouls, but there was such a lift that gave the team. It seemed like that carried you for a couple of weeks.
Well, that was a terrific example. We were kind of reeling a little bit because Christian had been injured and not sure what he could do. But I think that showed the value of having some veterans on the roster. Those guys that made the plays down the stretch, for the most part, guys that have been with us for a while. And that was a terrific memory. Q stepping up, courageous as can be, to step up and knock that ball. Free throws. Elijah, never say die attitude with the threes down the stretch. But Wilson and Madison and AJ, those 5 guys really got us in the early part of the season. when they were together as a 5-man unit, they were really tough to beat. They're plus minus. Every game they were in was, they're not a knock on our bench. Those young guys were good. Those guys that really developed the chemistry.
It's interesting to see sometimes the mental aspect of the game. That not only did that game seem to give you a lift, but it's not unlike in baseball. I've seen it over the years where you can be having a pretty rough year. All of a sudden you're in the ninth inning somewhere and you're down 4 or 5 runs and you out of nowhere, with 2 outs and have some 6-run route, and that'll carry you for a couple of weeks.
Going strong on the baseball references tonight. It must be because Tony Stoll is in the house, and we're trying to give him his good side, I guess. But no, that's a good. I'm a huge little baseball fan, so great to have Coach Stoll in the house. But no, you're exactly right. It can really transfer the momentum, and there's so many ebbs and flows in this season. Our guys are pretty, they're disappointed with our conference start right here. But we talked about it today. There's 14 more league games left, plus the tournament. There's so much basketball left to be played. You just can't get down. That's the main toughest part. That's why our veterans have to help our young guys shoot us. Our young guys have seen, so much more intensity probably than they've ever seen in the season, and yet we're only halfway through.
Well, and part of what happens, I think, especially with the injuries that you did have, to who and how it affected the way your team plays, it kind of has a little bit temporarily or otherwise of an adverse effect from it. It takes a minute, obviously, to kind of reshape and rebuild how you're doing things. And that can kind of throw you off track for a couple of days confidence-wise the other way. And that all fits into what we're talking about with kind of the ups, downs, ebbs, flows. And a lot of what happens oftentimes is as much about what's in the heat as it is what happens on the floor.
No question. And I've always said, my greatest joy in coaching has always been the individual players. We really pride ourselves on player development, and I think we can see again this time players like Elijah. Once a guy hits his 3rd semester with us, it's almost kind of magical how they take off in the games. Elijah's playing terrific basketball now. AJ Madison is there. They've had a year with us, and I think their development is there. But everybody develops at a different pace, and you have to be really careful. Again, going back to baseball, no different than moving a guy from single A to triple A too fast, skipping a step. And when you have injuries, sometimes you're forced just by minutes you have available and the positions you need. Where guys have to skip steps a little bit, and you got to make sure they don't lose confidence because our young guys are going to be terrific. I have all faith in the world in them. Some of them are at different places along the way. Some have been to prep school, some are straight out of high school. They all have different backgrounds from different experiences. Their growth rate is going to be different initially as they adjust to college basketball.
And the coincidence element of it is that a lot of this injury stuff all happened right around the time, again, coincidentally, that the toughest part of the schedule is here. The conference schedule is what it's all about. And then on top of that, you face 2 red-hot streaking teams right out of the box, too.
No question. Our league has been really, really good. This is, I think, the 6th year out of the last 7 that's been between 10 and 15 in net. Our net this year is the highest it's been than anybody can remember or recorded. We were about 160 before conference play started. But our league is terrific. So we have a net that was like 3rd or 4th in the league. But the other thing about our league, which is unusual, is we, year in, year out, it's one of the best three-point shooting leagues in the country. I was offered 4 different jobs at different times. I looked into a job in the Big Sky one time and out west, and I think that's the only league that can rival the Southern Conference year in and year out for the amount of threes and the percentages and things like that. Just the way our league plays.
Let's talk a little bit for a minute about the Notre Dame game. The significance of that, of course, probably, I think without question, the most impressive end-to-end performance you guys have had this year. But what that means, I think, for the program and obviously this year's team, where does that stack up for you and the time you've been at the Sentinel in terms of, obviously you have a lot of big wins, you have a lot of big games over the course of the years, but how do you feel like that game fits into the history and the time you've been around and have you played it?
Well, I think you'd be right there near the top, and I think it was easy to dismiss Notre Dame. They were, maybe a team that was struggling at that time, but we beat them as handily as anybody did all year. And then the very next night, the very next game, they won again and got back to winning. And then they won 3 straight. I believe they beat Virginia by about 20. A team that has recent Final Four. Great coach in Tony Bennett. They've been in every game since, whether it was Duke or Florida State. They've been right there. They've kind of reinvented themselves. So Coach Shrewsbury's going to do a phenomenal job up there. I've known him a long time. He'll do great. As far as a win for the city, well, I thought it was just it was terrific. But it was just a great way to go into Christmas. And it was so gratifying to see a guy like Elijah Morgan, who had been there, to go back, give him 19 points, win by 20. So great to see the oldest guys we had. Really, and I thought they displayed to everybody how well they were playing at that time. And then we finally learned how to play together. So from that standpoint, it was terrific. What made it even better was we had a great fan following up there. And because of the time of year, everybody was able to show up and see on campus. I'm a guy that grew up going to Notre Dame football games, and when you're born on the south side of Chicago, in the Irish capital, that's kind of who you root for and where you migrate to on weekends. And so a lot of friends, and then also just our great chill was able to share in that and stay at the Morris Lane with a fun time that night, and just a memorable game. So what I would hope that we would get out of it is our program understand what we're capable of, and let's take on these challenges in future years, but also the city as a whole. Obviously, we're one of the storied institutions in this country. They have as much money as in the athletic department as anybody, and that we can do this thing. And we're not anywhere near where we want to be right now, but if we all keep working together, pushing the same direction, we can do this. We can do this at a high level, and I hope that game energizes us for a long time, because it's going to be a battle for a while to get where we want to get to. But again, we can do this thing. I hope everybody's convinced of that.
Let's talk about Saturday's game. They took on Wofford. Very close game. You end up losing. It's kind of a heartbreaker at the end with the battle to win on the back 72-71. We talked about it a little bit on radio after the game. At the very end, it's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. But it's about as encouraging a feeling you can take, I think, out of a loss as you can have, because it was apparent that things kind of came back together a little bit at the half. They regrouped, they went out there and they fought their tails off, got right back in the game. And you were right there at the end of it. It didn't bounce your way.
No doubt. We're down right now. We don't like the way we started the play. I don't think we've defended anywhere near to our standard. We have to get back on the right track. But I thought that the second half, we have no choice. We have to build on that. And it was good basketball. We had 8 assists, 1 turnover until I think the last possession in that half. We shot over 50%. We shot well from 3. We out-rebounded. We did everything we want to do in that second half. That's how we want to play. It got us back in position to win that game. We have to be better early on, but it put us in position to win that game. What I'll say about that last play, it was frustrating for all of us. I think we all was just crushed by it. It was something we talked about and prepared, but we didn't execute. But I would say this, our players that were there on the floor, I think, and this is a great thing, and I told them all this today, I look at them and Madison and AJ and Hugh and Elijah and all of them out there. I think every one of them thought they could get on there and make a winning shot for us in 5.5 seconds. And they had so much confidence. I think they mentally skipped a step of getting the rebound, which sounds crazy, but I think they were so intent on we're going to win this game. There was no fear, there was no back down, there was no hesitancy. They were going to go get the ball and we're going down there and win this game in 5.5 seconds. And we simply didn't take care of the details of the business, and it was a tough lesson. But I love the fight in the house.
Yeah, honestly, calling it, I'm not speculating as the game's winding down. He's going, they're going to want him to miss this free throw. If he misses it, sure enough, in the moment, so then you see it bounce out to
Yeah, I'm sure the last time I was with you, Q was out of the game at the time because we knew he was pressing foul. I told her else, I said, there's subbing Q back in. For one reason, we have to get this rebound. I don't think they're going to make both. But either way, if they, and this is probably, I'll take the blame for this. So we talked about the rebound. I actually drew on the board where I wanted to win and how we're going to box out most other things. But then I wanted to give our guys belief in the faith. And like I said, I think they had that. And I think they left that timeout knowing they could win this game. I told him, I said, no matter what, whether he makes one or makes both, we're still one basket down. It does not matter what he does at this free throw line. We're going down to the winning game. And we kind of drew up what we were going to do. I know our guys know how to execute that, and I think we were just ready to get onto that part of it. They were thinking it doesn't matter what he does. Coach said it doesn't matter what he does. We're going to go win this game. And we didn't account for a long rebound that dribble out.
And because of the bigger picture, you know, it's one of those that you're never comfortable with a loss. You're not out there to ever have a loss, but that's about as positive, I think, a feeling going out of a loss as I can remember for a long time. More because of the bigger picture. The team really seemed to kind of find itself, got some offensive rhythm going again, and really played well in the second half. Speaking of Q, that being Quentin Delora Brown, he's going to join us in just a moment. He's going to come over and hang out with both of us. Right now, we're going to take a timeout. This is the Ed Conroy Show. It is presented by Cutwater Spirits, live tonight at El Jefe, downtown Charleston at 468 King Street. If you're here, thank you. If you're on radio, thank you. If you're watching us on YouTube video, thank you also. We're going to have more fun doing this as we go along. Right here, we'll take a timeout. We're back after this at El Jefe. You're listening to the City of Bulldogs Radio Network. Thank you, Jeff. 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah, man, some hair. My shirt.
Appreciate it.
I'll have you just hold this. You can jump on that one, or you can just hold this. If he's going to stay up there. How's everything going? Since we're up there, how's everything going? Really looked like, I was talking about the second half of the game. Like you guys got to figure out how to put it together. Talk a little bit about player-related team aspect. Talk a little bit about guys who are relive a little of the season. I haven't kind of set up some coach will be on whether if he does or not. If he wants to go take a break and eat something, he'll shoot the breeze with that. Yeah, it's going to be a long week, man. Two cities before we get back. I worked in baseball a long time, though. It's nothing like a 12-game on the West Coast. And you have games every day. Joe, how many minutes of time? Okay, about halfway through the break. Okay. We still got about 2 minutes. But yeah, I figured that it's still being out there if you want to the next 7 minutes. I was thinking about this. I talked to coaches and say something. I might ask you to teach them unfortunately. See if he wants to see it. How good the coach did? Yeah. You should all just be being him. At home, if anybody travel. See, I didn't know. That's why I ran you guys being guys and the team of players. He's been in there all night. I don't know if he wants to run the bench. Yes, just adds a cool perspective. And since I play this game by myself, so I always like to be one of this. Hey, Joe. Still about 30 seconds. Oh, okay. We'll say hi to Q. Q is here too. Once we do go, I can pull that up a little bit to middle bend too. Yeah, they're just directional. It's I have a commissioner of baseball. He's a commissioner of baseball. And he goes to Bill Benson and likes it. It's the commissioner of baseball. The microphone's going to pick up the back of the anyway. Hi, Joe. Thanks. Yeah, so, well, to be honest, it's better than Rob Manfred. Not exactly improved things. You make it things that have to be good. It's smart.
Should we face that time?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, Joe. I'm back. This is the Ed Conroy Coaches Show. We're live from the Cafe tonight in downtown Charleston. We are at 468 King Street. Cafe. The food here is fantastic. Yeah, and the voice that you're hearing is that of Quentin Delora Brown. He is one of the big guys on the Citadel team this year. Of course, to remind you quickly that the Ed of show is presented by Cutwater Spirits. And Hugh, it's good to have you over here. Obviously, the season at this point, conference play hasn't started exactly the way anybody would have wanted it to. But on the other side of the coin, as Coach and I were talking about, in the course of the season, you have so many up and down times, things that are good that happen, things that are not so good that happen. And the timing of some of the injuries and the nature of who they were and how it alters the way you guys play, I think invariably is going to further confidence off the track. And obviously, you still have to kind of relearn how you're playing together with this new style.
Definitely. It's unfortunate that Winston got hurt, Christian got hurt that season. And then AJ had his shoulder that deflected for a little bit. But, there's a big opportunity for the young guys, too. At the same time, as unfortunate as it is, there's also an opportunity for them to kind of grow into a bigger role. A time for them to show what they can do with, having to fill the gap that's there. Obviously, we've struggled as we started conference play, but even at the end of the last game, we started to play a little bit and find a little bit of, okay, this is the team that we want to be. But it's always a struggle, like, when you have injury, how are you going to respond, how are you going to find a way to get these things now that we have. But I think it's been good for the younger guys to have an opportunity to grow.
Yeah, it can only make your depth players that much better. If they have to play more minutes and play more roles, this just better prepares them for bigger moments that they can be able to shine.
Exactly. Coach always said at some point in the season, we're going to need everybody. And this really just shows you we'll need everybody.
From the standpoint of the ups and the downs, I was talking to Coach about this a few moments ago. There's so many things that happen in the course of the season. It's not just basketball. I think basketball and baseball in particular, for me at least, because of the number of games they might have traveled back and forth, there's so many little things that can happen that can kind of send things momentum-wise in one direction or the other. I recall in this injury situation, obviously threw you guys off the track of that, but earlier in the season, the Idaho State game, look, you were right there winning at the end. When you snatch one from, looks like it's going to get away right at the end like that lifts you the other way.
Exactly, we have a lot of really young guys on the team. They haven't been in as many close games. They haven't been in as many different situations. And just giving them more time and opportunity to be in those situations is really going to help them grow, not just this year, but in the years to come too.
Can you speak to the intangible thing that chemistry? Chemistry matters a lot. There's an old adage, you don't have to be even a friend to be a good teammate. But I think it helps a lot when the guys like each other and they like being with each other. And it's apparent, being on the road, seeing you guys around the gyms, the hotels, all these things that you guys genuinely like each other. And that helps a lot from the standpoint of playing together.
Yeah, definitely being friends and being obviously teammates. It's really helpful to just understand where everyone comes from. We understand every guy has their different things that they need. AJ, he just needs a little bit of pat on the back. Okay, I need to be picked up. How am I going to pick each guy up? AJ, put a little pat on the back. You just look at him you got this. Madison, just give him a little settle down. We're going to be fine. Everyone has their different things that they need. Just being close with each of them different ways, you kind of get a feel for how they respond to different things. Finding that right way to communicate with each person is so important.
A player-led element is such a big part of a successful team. It varies a lot from program to program, coach to coach, but I think over the course of you're a grad student player here, so this is one of those situations where over the course of time during your college career, you've certainly grown into that leadership type of role. Can you talk a little bit about, in your view, the importance of the player-led aspect? You can have all the coaches in the world. You've got to have somebody vocal out there leading too.
Yeah, honestly, there comes a point in every game where it's just the 5 players on the floor. And it's how are we going to do this together? And how are we going to come together? Because the coaches, they give you the plan, they give you the reads, they tell you all these things. But at the end of the day, they're not on the floor with you. It's the 5 people on the floor coming together and working as a team. And every team has a different way of how they're going to come together. Same with us. I think that we have with Winston, we had 5 on the floor, really good older guys who could kind of hold it together, but now that we have other guys coming up, we really need to just take another step and how are we going to bring these younger guys and get them up to speed, because we know it's different, like when you play a role versus playing a bigger role, like just being a smaller role player, being a bigger role player, different, like you're going to make mistakes. How do we help them figure those things out? How do we help them get through those mistakes and grow? Like, how do we help them settle down when they're rushing or feel panicked? Like, every guy has to do their part. Like, AJ, Madison, myself, Elijah, and even Winston on the bench can help us too. Like, hey, when they come off the floor, like, you did a great job. Like, settle down. This is what I saw. You know, on the floor, there's the heat of the battle that Coach always talks about. Like, you're getting sped up, you're getting things coming at you. How do we, as a team, pull together and slow down? How do we make those reads without being rushed?
You came in from Vanderbilt, so obviously being a former SEC guy, you've played in a lot of really, really great settings and big venues and big games and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about how the Notre Dame game was for you guys as a team, and from your perspective, you know, coming to the Citadel to fill the role that you really have filled very well? How was that for you? That was a heck of a night, I think, for the program, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, you know, I thought it was amazing how many Citadel fans we had there. You know, it really didn't feel like we were at the away game. The fans behind the bench, easily like 30 rows back. It felt really like we were at home game. Honestly, I think everyone went into that game like, this is a game that can change where we are in the season. Everyone was dialed in, everyone was locked in. Elijah came in with such a great focus and attention to all the details. He was locked in for every moment of that game. You could tell the entire time he wanted for that game so bad, along with the rest of us, you know. But Elijah really, like, he really helped lead all of the younger guys in that game. Like, just his desire to win.
Yeah.
Just, you could feel it, like, just sitting there, like, you could feel the tension.
Yeah, honestly, even sitting courtside, you could kind of feel the intensity he was going out. And I think everybody felt it.
Oh yeah, definitely. They can feel it, and then you are. This time, as the game went on, like halftime was close, but he was like, "Oh, we're about to make that breakthrough. We're about to make that breakthrough."
Wait, so you got 14 games left. Obviously, this is a big, challenging week coming up. We go to UNC Greensboro tomorrow. We play them Wednesday, and then still coming back because of geography. We go on until Lexington, Virginia, your home state, by the way, and take on VMI on Saturday. And it's important now, at some point, to build on what you got or what you got done in the second half against Wofford and see if you can translate that into a win. Maybe either one of these or both of them, ideally. And UNC Greensboro fitting right in with the rest of the circle. Every one of these teams we've seen is pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, every night it's gonna be a fight. But I think that, you know, with the way we've been just figuring it out piece by piece, day by day, I think that we've been building up to a really good point. That we're at a place where it's like, okay, we know who we want to be. We know the team we need to become. And it's just about locking into those little details and getting there.
You know, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, I'd like to talk to Coach about it here and there, but generally speaking, the game goes to the half, and you're usually right in the middle of this. You guys assemble the team. There aren't any coaches there. It's the team leaders. Assemble the players around and have a talk to reset on things. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys do with that going into the half?
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that the coaching staff encourages us to do, and one of the things that I think all of the guys like, that it's just a moment where we're like, okay, the good, the bad, whatever, however the game is going, come together as a team and just take a break and say, like, okay, we're united in this approach, whatever it is we need to do, whether it's we've been playing really well, we need to keep it up, or we haven't been doing what we need to do, like we need to re-lock into the details of what we were coached to do, whatever it is, whether it's we need to get a little more crisp with our passes, we need to be a little bit better on our pace, just coming together as a team and saying, like, okay, this is the focus going into the half, and then starting the next half, it's new game. We need to, it's a brand new game for us. Every half that's one half. We're not focused on the game as a whole, it's just, what do we need to do this half? And so, think that it's a really great opportunity and time for us every time.
As you sit here, and we'll go into a break here in just a little bit, as you sit here just past the halfway point of what would be your last college season, when you look back over it, are there any particular influences that stand out, things that, I mean, be it coaches, be it other players you played with, anything like that, are there any influences that stand out that have made you better as you go?
There's so many. I really like stand up. So my freshman year I started doing ice. That was a fantastic experience. Transferred to Vanderbilt eventually that year, all about just getting my body right, getting stronger, bigger, learning so many things. Every year I think like you learn a slightly different style, you learn slightly different things. Like every team gives you something new to work on. Like every team has like things that they're really, really good at. You learn and you kind of steal a little bit. Whatever it is, like how you run a ball screen. Every team is going to play a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, ball screen is big run basketball. Right? You got to be able to guard it however they try to run you into a screen. So just learning like all of those little things from everyone along the way. So like, it's just got to be in the process. How do I get better each day? How do I get better each day? And just like when you look back on it, it's like, wow, I can see different steps at each point. Like throughout the seasons, throughout the years, like I can just little things and further away. But there's just so many. It's hard to say exactly like anything specifically. There's just so many things.
Well, I guess the good thing is, the injury situation, the thing that you guys have been through for the last couple of weeks, at least it happened, I guess, when it happened. So now you've got 14 games left to try to play your way through, knock on wood, everybody stays healthy, that you do have to play. There's a lot of basketball left, and I see a lot of determination in your faces.
Oh, definitely. I don't think anyone wanted, we all know, like, we can do better. And I think that everyone's determined to do better going forward.
Well, we appreciate you coming over. Congrats on all those double-doubles, too. I mean, very unselfish guy. You missed one against I think it was Tacoma or one of the other teams where they just took you out in the second half. You've had a great season, man. It's been a lot of fun watching. We're having a lot of fun watching the rest of it, too.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Quentin and Laura Brown coming over, spending some time with us here on the Ed Conroy Show. And we'll be back on the other side of the timeout. We remind you, too, the Ed Conroy Show is presented by Cutwater Spirits, and we come your way live tonight from El Jefe, downtown Charleston, 468 King Street. Hey, they're open every day. The food is fantastic. They're right here in the middle of everything. No excuses. Come down here. And on Monday nights, every couple of weeks, we will have the Ed Conroy Show here as well. We appreciate all of you being with us. We'll take a time out here. We'll talk with Winston Field on the other side. Winston is injured, but he can come over and hang out with us, and we'll talk about Citadel basketball with him as well. Coach Conroy is still with us as well, and we will resume the Ed Conroy Show on the other side of this break. You're listening to Citadel Bulldogs basketball. One thing about a city like this, too, it has to be a little bit laid back. Just kick it, it's not like a pre or post game interview where rigidly, I'm in a 4-minute break. I was going to just hurdle it, but I didn't want to make you feel bad, man.
Yeah. Can you move it a little bit? Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you.
put you, whichever one you're comfortable in. As long as you can hear us. One of those minutes. It doesn't matter. I'll be on that side.
You want me on this side?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, is Patrick coming too?
Take this. I got it.
How you doing? I think it's all good.
Gain the left. Okay.
Okay.
Must not on it.
There you go.
Okay, just.
You're already on
Yeah, I just wanted to man it. No.
Am I putting this on or we're just doing like
Yeah, you can put it on.
more efficient?
Can you? Headphone, no headphone. Since it's on that too. That's one of the reasons you Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you, Joe. It's funny because I mean, based on the way it's spelled, like Krzyzewski. So, you know, you didn't go any further. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Joe. Hi, guys. And we're back on the Ed Conroy Show. We're live at El Jefe, downtown Charleston. We're at 468 King Street, where the food is great, the atmosphere is just as great, and the conversation is, who knows, even better than that. But we want to remind you, too, the Ed Conroy Show is presented by Cutwater Spirits. A couple more special guests, and one of them is Winston Hill. We were just talking about you, and now here you are. But obviously, you know, we would rather see you out there with a uniform on. But also, Patrick Reiling, assistant coach, is with us as well. But guys, this is kind of that time of the year where games are as important as they are all year when you get into conference play, after all. The timing of the situation with yourself and prior to that, Christian, being what it is. I was awfully encouraged the other night, even after a game that got away from you guys at the end, with the way the team played in the second half. It seemed to kind of rediscover a little mojo there and get a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. I think last game we really found something. It was good. We kind of struggled first half. We struggled first half, and it was good for us to come back second half and figure it out. Really show some fight, really show some grit. And that's really what we're about. And I think it was good for us. Unfortunately, we don't win every game. It's sad we didn't pull it out, but a couple mistakes here, a couple mistakes there. We fixed a little thing and we're back in it. So I mean, of course, you want to win every game. I'm not happy where we are, but I'm optimistic. The young guys are really ready to step up, really ready to make some noise.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. 14 games and a whole lot of basketball in terms of all the way around the Southern Conference. You also, Patrick, you can speak to this a little bit. I mean, the timing of those things, there's never a good time to have injuries like that. The timing of those with the beginning of conference play on top of it, and then you add to that the fact you've got one team that won 7 straight, another that won 12. Didn't exactly start off with a couple of cupcakes because of the SoCon there just aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, like Winston said, we're kind of in a different situation now, so you guys got to have a different role. You got to step up. You got to take advantage of your opportunity that you're given. So some guys, where we were 2 weeks ago, there's a different responsibility now. Like you said the other day, obviously we want to come in, but we had some guys step up in the second half that had been given more of an opportunity than they had done previously. Hopefully they build on that. We continue to get better every day and look to take another step up next day.
I'd love to get both of you guys' thoughts on the importance of communication. You know, communication is really everything on the floor, is it not? Especially when you're changing up the style of play by necessity. And obviously, if you're doing it on one side of the ball, you're doing it on the other side of the ball as well. There's a whole lot that goes into that. And then you have primarily a roster of underclassmen with the 3 grad transfer players. Can you guys talk a little about that process, about the communication, how much of that you're trying to hammer home in people constantly in practice?
Yeah, I mean, communication obviously helps you build team camaraderie, helps up to and making mistakes later on the floor. And we joke now, Winston, in his current situation, he's part of the staff now. So he's seeing a whole different side of it. Communicating with staff to the players on the floor, players amongst themselves, whether it's a free throw, dead ball, timeout, trying to get ready to get to the next play. So I mean, again, like you said, communication is so vital in every aspect throughout the game, but also as we prepare for another team, it's okay, who steps in for them? What are our matchups going to look like? What is Coach Paul? What do we want to do defensively? Are we able to communicate that so we come out and we're prepared and we're ready to go?
Christian, how do you spend the game? You're obviously not traveling, but how do you spend the game around the team on the bench? And it's got to drive you crazy. Just a couple of weeks ago, you were out there battling.
Yeah, man, it sucks for me to be honest with you, because like I know I can be out there helping the team, just with everything. Not even just stats wise, just my voice, just being my presence, just getting out there, like helping the young guys, helping them be better, kind of showing them the way. Because I played so many college games, I've been in about every situation you can think of. So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough being on the sidelines, but then again, I try to just keep my head high. I try to help them because I mean nobody cares at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So I try to help them and try to be honest with you, try to win a game, just try to help them. They ask me a question, do my best helping them with that question, kind of showing them different things that you might not see on the court that you see from the sidelines. You know what I mean? So I just try my best to be a voice, like I said, communication, like you said, especially the position I'm in now. I need to be a great communicator. I need to have the best communication I've had my whole career now to help the team out. So.
I was talking to Q about this a few minutes ago, and I mean, over the course of a career in other words, coaching aside, the player-led aspect of it, over the course of a career, you're obviously going to mature, you're going to be around more, you're going to become more a player, leader type of guy. And in the end, when a guy like yourself that is one of the elder statesmen, as you will, on the team, a grad transfer type player goes down, it certainly takes an aspect of that away. Can you talk a little bit, Pat, from your point of view about the player-led aspects of this and how important that is? And honestly, if you lose a guy like this, do you overcome it by just having the voice, even if he's not on the court? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, injuries and others are always tough. And obviously, time-wise, being in the middle of the season, guys are going to be guys playing makes it even tougher. But as anybody knows, injuries are something that everybody's going to have to deal with. It's been common throughout our league already. We've played teams that have had injuries to some of their older guys, some of their leading scorers. So, I mean, we're lucky Winston, he has such a professional approach in how he conducts himself, how he holds himself accountable. And again, he's not out there playing, but since he stepped foot here in June, he's made an impact on this team with these guys, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, you're a grad transfer like him, Q, and Elijah now. He's made an impact on these guys to make sure that they're ready now. We're in a different situation. But again, nothing changes. We're going out there. We got to be prepared. We got to win games. And again, he has that. We can rely on him to be one of those leaders on the court for us, in the locker room for us. So while he may not be competing, he's establishing that locker room. Guys trust him, and he has tons of experience for people to lead.
Before we go into a break here, I'd like to get from both of you guys just a couple of things that stand out for you that have happened thus far in the season that are memorable type of things. For me, the one that stands out is, of course, the end of the Idaho State game. And everybody would feel, I think, this way about Notre Dame. But just some moments that, as we've gone along to where we are now, just past the halfway point of the season, a couple of things that stand out. So,
I mean, you hit it on the head with the Idaho State game. I mean, I haven't been in a game like that my entire career. I mean, we probably had 2 or 3 lead changes within 2 seconds of the game. I mean, it was crazy. It was the funnest part I've ever been in. So that's a big one. Notre Dame is, of course, a big one. I've never won a high major game. I was at BC and I came back. We didn't win a high major game at BC, so that was huge. We not just winning that game, but dominating that game. You know what I mean? Like just really from buzzer to buzzer, really just dominating and just win the game. So those are definitely the two biggest ones. I mean, and you can't really forget about the losses either. I mean, the first 3 games really help us mold us to go on that win streak and win the next. I want to say the next 7 out of 8 maybe.
Right.
So that was huge for us. The wins, the losses, I mean, everything was good. The Boston College game, the environment was impeccable. So that was good. That's something I always look forward to coming back and playing in this environment with the cadets and with all the supporters we have. I mean, it was the Boston College game is second to none. So I mean, it's been so many bright spots in this year, just going forward, just looking back. I mean, and like you said, we're only halfway through. So I mean, the future holds. I mean, it's going to be great. I think we're going to start winning some games and really start finding a groove.
All right, Patrick, so what about you? A couple of things that stand out. But from a coaching perspective, these may be totally obscure things for a guy like me that's broadcasting the game.
Yeah, I mean, when you said it, Idaho State obviously is something you can't really imagine, and it's hard to even try going into it. Like Winston said, 3 lead changes all within 4 seconds, it seemed like. But you add to that, again, we beat a local rival in Charleston Southern at home. We were able to go on the road and beat North Carolina A&T. I think U.S. anybody, especially coaches, winning on the road, extremely hard to do. And again, you go get North Carolina A&T, and then obviously we were able to go into Christmas on a really high note with that at Notre Dame, with guys playing well, playing for each other. And again, we got better that day, but I think Winston said, you look back, wins, losses, we've made sure that we've gotten better every game we've played. And that's where we are now. Continue to get better, but again, there's wins, losses, everything, you're learning from each of them. But yeah, again, we've had some pretty good highlights already, and we're hoping to add to some more as we finish out the year.
Well, the next opportunity for those highlights will be Wednesday. That's at UNC Greensboro as the team embarks on what's going to be essentially a 5-day road trip to both UNC Greensboro and then VMI. Patrick Riley, thanks a bunch. Assistant coach coming out. Winston Hill, hey, I was talking to Coach about this. We're going to see if we can slip a headset on you here and there a couple more times.
I would love to.
You didn't think you'd get recruited when you were in your grad year, did you?
No, not at all. But I would love to. I was telling Coach Pat, Coach Stone, I need to find my scene. I told him I was going to steal a copy daily. So
Yeah, there you go. So that's Winston Hill and again Patrick Riley. Guys, thanks a whole bunch. Let's go have a good road trip.
let's do it.
All right, this is the Ed Conroy Show. We're live from El Jefe. The Ed Conroy Show is presented by Cutwater Spirits, and on the other side, Coach will be back over, and we'll take a look at this road trip. We'll size up UNC Greensboro as well as VMI on the other side of that. Right now, we take a timeout. You're listening to the Ed Conroy Show. We're live in El Jefe, and we're back with more a minute after this. Thank you, Joe. You guys need stuff. Yeah, see, I just have to be careful. Yeah, you're good. That was great, man. Really good stuff. So, yeah, I'm starting to disrupt how they're handling. Yeah. But they were well spoken. I'm by myself. I always got better medicine. Oh, yeah. I would love to.
Yeah. I would love to. I mean, that's something that'll be a little new, but I mean.
Yeah, but I can walk you through it. For me, it's not. I'm just
A long time, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be down for it for sure. I'm going on the Greensboro trip. I don't know if I'll take the trip up to VMI, but I definitely be at UNC Greensboro. So we'll figure out whether this road trip or the future.
Maybe I'll be courtside if I am. That'll be easy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Everything going okay? You hear it well?
Yeah.
I'll get it taken care of. I've got the cables to do it. I just need to figure out how to route it. The other thing is that maybe the next time I just set it up where it's maybe more on this side and then come around back. So we're not going to put the cable straight across. Joey. Yeah. Let's check it last segment. And I'll have some intros and all that stuff made for this when we have it on. And we'll take 2 weeks. So, are you running the game? 7 o'clock too. I may. I mean, you heard me. As long as they're okay with it. he said he wanted to do it, so yeah. Winston Dope. Well, I mean, when the opportunity arises, you can't do it all the time. This is got class.
You replaced me, Brian, at halftime? You replaced me?
Huh?
You replaced me at halftime with Winston?
Using some at home? No, I still have you on.
No, I'm teasing.
No, I still have you on anyway, man. Ain't getting out of it that easy. Where are we at on time here? Okay. All right. Yeah, everybody's been really good. Everybody's been really good. By the way, I'll back this off when we come back. I don't know if you noticed, when we first went on, there's like an echo where you hear yourself in a delay, and it drives me crazy. So I can tune that out. And we're back at El Jefe. It is the Ed Conroy Show. This is installment number 1 of the Ed Conroy Show here in the 23-24 season. I guess I can say 24 season now. 23 is behind us. But the coach is back up here now. And now we turn our attention and look ahead. A couple quick things. Of course, we've got the game with UNC Greensboro coming up, the game with VMI coming up. And as complicated and as challenging as the way you have to travel for it, it ends up being a 5-day trip, Coach.
It does, a little long, especially for early on this wrestling, but it is what it is. And, we'll have 2 tough challenges. UNC Greensboro, Mike Jones does a phenomenal job there. This is his 3rd year there. They've established that they want to be one of the best defensive teams, if not the best, in the league every year. Tough environment, tough place to score, tough team to score against. They've had the Langley brothers have been there, and they are a handful. So we'll have to do it our best. We'll have to improve on some of the things we've done here. Maybe our transition defense. Our conversion defense, we pride ourselves on. We have to do a better job of getting these games under control and stopping these high-power offenses. And then VMI, their Saturday games are mandatory. They'll be the entire core there. Not just for the silver, but every time they have a Saturday home game, it's mandatory attendance and the place rocks. I used to be an assistant there, and it's been that way a long time. But you play them on a Saturday afternoon, it's a whole day now. They're playing them in the league, we're playing them in the non-conference game. Saturday home game is the city of Lexington. They really do.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the things coming up matchups-wise. These are home games now. Of course, you were just talking about BMI, and then you've got the military aspects of that. Of course, I got to experience my first football version of that this last fall, forward to both the basketball. But some other things coming up, coaches versus cancer. That's a very important tournament. That's a great cause, and that's one that really a lot of folks take part in. Where did that start?
Some coaches back, I think Jay outlined, everybody sees the ESPN work that he did and the SBs and all the things that have come from that. But really, I think there was starting to become an awareness of it, and then when Coach Alvaro took it off and really put the spotlight on it, coaches have really adopted it ever since. And so it's kind of a suits and sneakers week now. We're back when everybody wore suits. Wear sneakers to kind of highlight the fact that cancer has affected so many people. Everybody knows somebody that's been affected by cancer. It's just such a awful thing, and just the battle for that. But I was very fortunate. My first job in coaching was Coach Les Robinson. He was at NC State, and we replaced Coach Jim Galvano and his staff, and so got to know him a little bit. Seeing how this whole thing is growing, and so just like everybody else, I've had so many family members affected by cancer. That's important that we can just to bring awareness and keep trying to
everybody band together in the fight.
Well, and then you have a game coming up on January 31st. That's one of those packed events. Can you talk a little about the energy in McAllister on those and how it helps your team?
Well, there is no doubt. I'm so appreciative of our fans and how they rally behind our program, and our attendance is starting to increase. I think we've had 4 straight games now at home where the attendance has been increased, and the third floor of the Civil Basketball Association has got record response. I see people sitting up there all game. We've kept it open now the entire games. The commandant, the general, everybody was so supportive. We're starting to really create that whole basketball games into an event. So that is really big. But the Pack to Mac brings our cadets in. We had played our first 2 games without school in session. And when they're in the house, it makes a huge difference. And cannot wait. Football and baseball and some other athletic teams have really been, really been consistent about supporting us. But I can't wait to see some of the other cadets in there. We've really worked hard to try to get the McAllister Maniacs back. Cody Cutno and the guys that helped him, like Turkey Morley, really Cody is taking the lead on trying to help us get the McAllister Maniacs back. And I appreciate that so much. So hopefully we can build that part as we go through this. We have 5 more conference games, and 2 on Saturday, 3 on Wednesdays. We need to get as many cadets in there as we can. I've never been a big fan of just mandatory attendance.
Right.
I like to just say there's been so many games they're going to want to not miss it. We put on such a good event. But boy, it is special.
Don Sutton used to tell me the best promotion there is in this age-old inventory is still winning games. But let's talk a little bit about your favorite matchups, if you have any particular ones that take place at McAllister, that are really special.
I just like I really do. Our players laugh, but it takes me a few hours, sometimes at night to go to the last game. But when I come in there on Monday morning or whatever, I develop a quick strong dislike for that next opponent we have. But I will say, one of the things I love about this, and Shredder is about not just silver. I enjoy competing here as a player, knowing that there was a rival a couple miles away, like College Trust, and knowing that there was a lot of individual schools in the state. But I missed it. I was at Tulane, our closest rival. We were able to flip the tide in that rivalry. We were able to beat Memphis several times, and we haven't done it in a long time. But then to find out how it's wet. And people at Tulane, especially Tulane, who is our rival? We have a rival. And here, you can point to several. You ask most of the older ones, they're going to say fun. You ask single basketball guys from 1980 on, they're probably going to say College Trust. When they started fighting with them, they rise and they look at this division. And obviously they won one of those Olympics. You ask them all the same thing, they're probably immediately knee-jerk reaction and say, oh, it's too high, because we know they're But then, oh, by the way, Wofford, it's amazing, but no different than that 1-point loss we just had. I hate to tip my hat to, but I guess Mr. Johnson, I always use, and that's what we do. But it's just something we have in football and basketball, we've had painful losses so you throw them in the mix. I still like to consider South Carolina Kentucky we're going to get to the top of this stage. And so I put them in. So my point is there's so many. And the proximity of the league, and then the fact that we still play. We're one of the only leagues in the country. We still play everybody twice. It's a round robin game, 10 teams. You play everybody twice, 18 games. You see who really is the regular season champion. I know this will be, this won't go well with some college basketball fans out there. The NCAA tournament is such a big thing. But I grew up in the Midwest. And a Big Ten title for a lot of years was more important than the NCAA tournament. And inflation, I guess you didn't realize what you had to go through to win the league championship. So I still say I love the fact we played everybody twice. And yes, I want to get us to the NCAA tournament, but I want a Southern Conference.
No question. And one's a good way to get the other. Well, Coach, how about wrap this one? This went by way too fast. Time flies when you're having fun, but we all have to go back for a 5-day trip, too.
This has been great. We got a great crowd over there.
Absolutely.
You got a great venue here, Roy. At El Jefe, terrific supporter of ours who's going to be back in town. Love to get everybody out here every Monday night from here on out, and we'll have a lot of fun.
That is Ed Conroy, and this is the Ed Conroy Show. Coach, thanks a bunch. We'll see you on the bus tomorrow.
Thank you. Good officer.
All right, Coach Conroy, we'll step aside to go back over with the folks here in the room, and that will about put a wrap on this one. I want to say thanks to our usual pro on that end, that being Joe Mack running this in studio tonight. I want to say thanks to all the folks at El Jefe. The food here is fantastic. The atmosphere is great as well. The Ed Conroy Show is presented by Cutwater Spirits. We'll have another one of these today in a couple of weeks. Right now, we remind you, too, that the dogs will be in action day after tomorrow. At UNC Greensboro, 7 o'clock tip between the Dogs and the Spartans at UNCG. Will be on the air with pregame coverage at 6:30. Until then, that will about do it from here. I'm Brian Gifford. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us tonight. We will talk to you Wednesday, everybody. So long and go Dogs.